What up? It's your boy came back again, Nadia representing Mr. Wow. And today, wow, it's in the morning, super cold season started. And as you can see, this is the Forex Factory news calendar where we explore. For me, I have filters where I just have news that affects the US dollar alone and that has maximum and medium impact on the markets, right? So this week we're seeing this TIC long-term purchases, which means the Treasury International Capital, right? What that means is basically is the difference in value between foreign long-term securities purchased by US citizens versus US long-term securities purchased by foreigners during the reported period. So this data represents the balance of domestic and foreign investment. For example, if foreigners purchase 100 billion of US stocks and bonds, okay, these foreigners have purchased 100 billion worth of US stocks and bonds, and then the US citizens have purchased 30 billion dollars in foreign stocks and bonds. The net reading would be 70 billion. So, which means if there's more people in the US investing in there's more foreigners investing in US stocks than the US people investing in foreign stocks, it will be a positive net reading. But if it's other way around, where there's more people who have invested outside US stocks than how foreigners have invested in the US stocks, it will be negative, all right? And the more the positive, the better, right? So look at this. We have a 23.1 billion um, deficit, which means we have more people who have invested in outside foreign bonds and stocks than the foreigners invest in the US stocks, which is not a good indicator of how the market is going to perform long term. Okay, and then we have the core retail sales month by month and the retail sales month by month. Core retail sales increased by 0.6%, but the retail sales themselves dropped by 0.9. So of course, this is how much retail sales are selling. If they increase, which means there's enough, people are still increasing in spending. If it decreases, that means people are decreasing in spending. And of course, the difference between the core retail sales and the retail sales is the automobiles industry. So which means that in this core retail sales, we have all change in total value of sales in the retail level, excluding automobiles, which take 20% part of the retail sales in general in the US. So yeah, and then we had capacity utilization rate, industrial production rate, business inventories month by month, and these were factors that don't affect the market that much. And then today we have no news, but tomorrow, which today is on Wednesday 18th, tomorrow on Thursday we have unemployment claims, which claims to be to reduce the number of unemployment claims, unlike last week, which we saw an increase in the unemployment claims, which means more businesses are laying off employees just to downsize their company to be able to maximize, they want to maximize capital to where it's supposed to be, and cap down operating expenses as much as possible, which of course means more people to get unemployed and more people will claim for unemployment insurance. Having said that, guys, that means there's a lot of bad news that has already priced in. We have seen the Luna crash last week. We are seeing even so USDT depeg a little bit last week. We are seeing another stablecoin called Day also depeg, and you can see here very well in this USDT charts. On 12th May, we depegged to 0.94, which happened in a span of like an hour, then went back real quick, and yeah. So we have had a week where people are now starting to question stablecoins, starting to realize that, yo, are they safe as they seem to be, or is it just something that's gonna lead to another massive catastrophe like what happened to USD and Luna last week? So, guys, having said that, let's digress what's happening in the markets. And right now, we can see Bitcoin in a very strong down streak for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, which means that's a clean 2 months. And if you go to the monthly time frame, that's a very clear indication. You can see right there, past 2 months we have been in a bear market, but we have barely closed below this strong support, which is at 2900, and we are now bouncing off this trend line with this support. Hopefully we are not going to close below it, because once we close below 29k, that means we are ripe for more downside. But for now, we are seeing the fear and greed index at 8%, which means that more people, almost the entire market right now at this point, is super bearish. And we have now two scenarios here. Now that we're in a strong support, we have not yet broken it, we have not yet closed below it. That means there's high chances that we are going to see a strong support bounce, which means that now that everyone is super fearful, everyone is super afraid of the market, everyone has cashed out, everyone has taken profit, thinking that we're going further down, this is the right time for institutions to pump up the market and see a relief bounce. By relief bounce, that means we are not going to go back in a bull market. That basically means that we are going to see a relief bounce off of this support, just enough to make the market, to make people bag some profits before we go further down, and also a way to just give hope to the market and revive back the fear green index to at least in the middle right there. Because when you get to these points in time, this is when now people don't even look at the markets anymore. People are not interested in what the market has to do. People have already given up. People have lost a lot of money to this point. And yeah, we see a relief bounce, which is gonna be also a short squeeze for those who are shorting the market to probably this point at 35. We have a very strong resistance at 35k around here, which makes sense to have as well. Like, you know, if you see at that touch in this trend line, that will be very much acceptable, and then go further down at least to the 20k and at least 12k region before the end of the year. I expect this year to be a bearish year, which will be amazing as we get into a recession as the entire world. If US get into a recession, of course that means we are getting into a recession to the entire world, because that means the dollar will be affected, and that will affect the markets, that will affect the entire economy. So that's what we are looking at. Elon Musk said we are in a recession in the next 12-18 months, which I personally agree with from an economics point of view. So having said that, now we know that in the past 2 months we have been in a bear market, and it will be wise for me and you as traders to look for shorts in the market, and that's what we have been doing, guys. And if you have been following me, you understand what I'm saying about looking for shorts. And if you who are following me as well, you know I traded Luna, and if you made some good bags off of the Luna crash shorting, then you are entitled to give me, right? Yeah, to buy me lunch. So guys, having said that, we know, can see right now we are 29,800 price worth of Bitcoin today, and you can see we have started in a very strong bearish note. And you can see right here I have this like bear flag that's rising up nice and easy just after this crash. But at the same time, we are more of seeing us dilly-dallying just here through this strong support. We have not yet closed below, we are just dilly-dallying right here. And what do I feel, Kimani? What do you feel? I feel like we're gonna have sort of a double top here, so a double bottom, which means we expect price to come down, right, mitigate all this liquidity that is below this wick, all right, form another like sharp wick, probably go even further down to the 26k region, or just bounce off here, this support where we wick down, form a double bottom, boom, and then we get momentum to go further up. So that's what I'm looking at. I don't feel like we're just gonna go up. That might happen as well, because you can see this trend line forming nice and easy. It's not yet breaking. If we continue holding it, I expect us to bounce all the way here and go further up. Having said that, guys, it's time now for you guys to start banking, strategizing on how you're going to get the market. Just watch this trend line. If we break it, I expect us to go further down, form a double bottom before we go further up, or if not, we're gonna bounce off there. Let's be on the lookout on that. So Solana, that's another, you see Solana is super highly correlated with our brother, with Mr. Bitcoin right here. Super correlated, super correlated with Bitcoin. How Bitcoin moves is how this Solana moves. So if you go to the weekly time frame, of course, we have also been in a very strong downstreak. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 weeks straight of bear market, in a bear market, and you can see we are strongly holding this support, which was a previous resistance at 56k back in May 2021, which means we have gone back to the May levels just before the May crash. And if we are supposed to break that, I expect us to go further down to the 20k region, $20 region, where that was the bottom of the crash in May last year. So having said that, I also expect us to have like a relief bounce. You can see we have only one touch, two touch, and another touch, a relief bounce to the 100k region before we go further down. That would be necessary. So be on the lookout on how the market behaves in that regard. Let's see the daily time frame. Of course, we also forming like this kind of bear flag here after this sharp drop. So chances are probably we're gonna even go further down. If not, that means we're gonna have this sort of relief bounce before we go further down. So guys, be on the lookout on that. Right now I'm trading Solana because Luna is gone and Solana still has the volume that it's needed. Let's just check exactly so that you don't asking why Solana. So when you look at 24-hour volume, you come of course after this the top three and these stable coins is XRP, BNB, then Solana. So BNB and XRP, I'm dealing with Solana because this is the token right now I'm focusing on, starting to understand what's really happening in the ecosystem, not just in trading, but also fundamentally, and just looking at the token, being an expert in the token. Then ApeCoin as well is another token that I'm looking at fundamentally, which means it will be wise also, once I understand the on-chain data, I can also relate that to the technicals and come and trade it as well. So as well as you can see, we're also in a very strong downstreak after the huge FOMO and hype and pump that happened. So we're also having a major resistance right here that we have failed to break at $9.7. So if you break it, well and good. And you can see here we're also having this trend line that we just broke, and we are now hovering around there, hoping that we are going to break it upwards or downwards. So depending on what Bitcoin does, I'm on the radar of this. These are my levels, seeing if we're going to break up or down. So that's what I'm looking at. Either way, guys, that's it. I don't see any news, any real-time news that's gonna affect the market. We're just seeing Luna trying to revive with either Luna 2.0, where they are going to negate or neglect the UST stablecoin and have Luna as maintain its use case as a layer one, where projects can build. We're seeing a couple of people supporting it, but not really that much support, because remember, Luna was an ecosystem built around using UST as a stablecoin. We're now changing that. That means that it's gonna be now a direct competitor to Solana, Ethereum, and other chains like Phantom. But is it gonna survive really? right? That's why I like Phantom, because Phantom really tried to, they are the layer one, but they also tried to do all these, like, having stable coins, algorithmic stable coins, like Magic Internet Money, which also like failed miserably. So I don't know who's gonna come up with the right decentralized stablecoin that is gonna be used algorithmically, because I strongly believe that if it worked, it can work. And right now, I think Dokon is the right person to do that, my opinion. But I hope things are gonna. Uh, I hope we're gonna get the decentralized stablecoin that will work perfectly without being backed and without having anyone having a central control over it. So, guys, having said that, make sure you hit that notification bell after the subscription bell, and follow me on Twitter. Uh, um, Follow me on Twitter and YouTube, and make sure you get all the updates. Make sure you join that Telegram group, link in the description below, and see ya when you all see me. Cheers, guys.